How has quarantine helped you? I was headed towards some serious burnout. Having life stop completely for a while has helped me realize I was headed toward a downward spiral. And I used it to kinda force myself to do nothing for a while. And it actually worked. So I feel much better now. Sometimes it's healthy to do nothing. We shouldn't feel guilty for being unproductive at times. Honestly, it helped me by letting me take a moment to step back and look at my life and such. We're so wrapped up in life that we can't take a second to look around. I know that it's oversaid, but it's really something you should do. Like maybe even a small moment or something. It's also helped me build a routine, just to keep sane. My dad was battling an addiction to painkillers, which we thought he was winning, only to find out in January he was replacing the painkillers with alcohol, and I strongly suspect heroin, as he has struggled with that a lot through my life. He is 70 next year and has many underlying health conditions, mainly to do with his addictions. He has been in strict lockdown for 9 weeks and he is the best I've seen him in years. Both mentally and physically. I feel like I've got my dad back. It made me realize the difference between happiness and distraction from sadness. Quarantine showed my friends and family that I was essential. You still are. I started working out. It started with a walk every day. I needed some time to adjust myself. Now I walk every day and come home and work out with weights. I am someone who hated to work out. I'm starting to see my body change. I won't lie, I'm super proud of myself. I was lucky not to have my job affected by it. With working from home and saving on gasoline, not eating out, not paying for child care, and budgeting for groceries, we were able to save a lot of money and pay down a big chunk of our debt. I learned how to complete a Rubik's Cube. Serious. I am proud of you. It helped me fight with my now ex, which led me to move out of our apartment, which led to me getting some much needed distance to realize it was an abusive relationship, and I'm now free from that shit. I don't have to explain to anyone that I just feel like staying home by myself and don't have to worry about unexpected visitors while I'm smoking weed. I worked full-time from home instead of office, but I was well rested for the first time in my adult life. Remove the morning routine, traffic, breakfast rush, then in reverse for home, and I gained 3 to 4 hours per day. It was amazing. I will miss that lifestyle so much. I've gotten to know my 14-year-old grandson more. I lost my job, so he's been with me doing school online. I've learned that teenagers need their own space. I've learned patience. I've learned that anime is not cartoons. I've learned that teenagers have their own language. So when he says I wouldn't understand certain verbiage, I low-key go to Urban Dictionary and feel like I'm breaking the code. It's been very enlightening. It hasn't. It has thrown me back into the depressive spiral I just crawled out of. Yep. Same here. Was just starting to get back to enjoying things and realized the other day I'm right back where I started. It's fucked me up. I need to be in a residential facility and now they won't let me come because it's closed. It gave me time to perfect my naked Pizza Hut ad. I've lost weight and not done any drugs or drank during. I completely stopped drinking. I started learning to code, which is something I've been wanting to do for years. It let me grow facial hair for the first time in my life. I'm 57. My facial hair grows in slowly and thin. Even a 2 to 3 week vacation doesn't give me enough time to get a decent amount of growth. My dogs are much better behaved. To cook food at home for once. I've been learning how to sew. It helped me with planning trips to the grocery store since I'm only going once every 3 weeks. Now, I used to make lists, but forget to look at them this year no more. I can't deny my weight anymore. I ignored it because I can walk and run. All my doctor's tests come back fine, and I carry the weight well and with the way it's distributed. I don't look my actual weight. I just can't keep lying to myself anymore. Though, I'm 25, so it hasn't completely wrecked me yet. And I'm not so overweight obese that I need medical intervention or surgery to shed the pounds. I just have to eat better and move more, which I've been doing since lockdown. I just hope I can keep this up if things go back to normal. I've lost weight. I got a tan. I picked up a few new hobbies. I don't have to take the filthy subway into the dirty city, etc. What hobbies? I've learned a lot about birds. We've had 3 hummingbird nests and a baby crow in the backyard. My photography skills have become much more honed. Also weightlifting. I learned I have a learning disability called dyscalculia, so now I feel less stupid. I got a job. I completed both Naruto and Naruto Shippuden in a month. I was in a pretty bad spiral of social alcoholism. I knew I had a problem, but every night I still went out because I was bored and lonely at home. The bars have now been open for nearly 2 weeks and I haven't been back yet. The quarantine was one of the first times I actually wanted to talk to people. I had surgery the week before schools shut down in my country, so I hardly missed anything and I had the easiest and least stressful recovery ever. My husband and I have talked more than we have in years. We're both pretty introverted, and coming home from work every day tired. We didn't talk a lot just to talk. Since quarantine, we've been walking almost every day, and we've been chatting away. It's wonderful. Making plans and telling stories and sharing observations. I've become a lot happier. I've got time to work on my side projects. I've built furniture. I got to play with puppy way more than I usually do. Even though I still was working from home. Saving those 1 to 2 hours a day from traffic did wonders for me. I wish I could work from home forever. I have insomnia, and am now getting more sleep. I just roll out of bed at 8 a.m. to work from home instead of waking up at 5:30 a.m. like before. It gave me a good excuse for not having any plans when in reality I just don't have friends. I too came to this realization. I didn't get COVID and die. It's helped my employer realize that we can work from home. We've been working full-time from home, but since reopening we get the flexibility of working 2 days in the office and 3 days at home. Also, I'm super into cycling now. Made one very important distinction in life. True happiness generally comes through production. Exercise. Satisfying work. Hobbies. Interaction. Distractions from sadness often come through consumption. Food. Alcohol. Social media. It seems to me you're consuming the wrong things. You can get great satisfaction and happiness from reading a good book. Just observing a cat can bring you happiness, even though that is purely a distraction. Consuming certain things, you are very correct. Alcohol and social media can be quite harmful. However, social media in small doses, such as someone who only has a few friends and they simply use it to keep in touch, can be nice. It depends on whether you're using it in a toxic manner. If you are eating food purely to get dopamine, then yes, food can bring sadness, but food is also one of the most universal connecting events that humans have. Food is one of the largest parts of every culture. It can bring immense joy. If you're eating by yourself in isolation, pre-made food, that probably won't bring joy. However, that's not always the case. I mean, just one little piece of chocolate can bring you a nice little spike in happiness and not make you sad. Eating a box of chocolate might bring guilt though. Consumption can bring happiness. It just depends on whether you're doing it in a healthy manner. Here's a piece of social media consumption I'll bring you joy. Go over to art plus images. It's almost all nice animal pictures that bring happiness. I learned about what I fear for the first time in my life. Before I would just say I don't have a biggest fear. Turns out there's this thing called claustrophobia. It's the fear of being trapped with no escape. Similar to claustrophobia, but different. I do fine with small spaces, so long as I can let myself out or have someone else to do it. Lock me up in a house or make me stay inside though and I'm living a nightmare. Thankfully the fear doesn't come from trauma in my case. And it's not so bad now that I've recognized it. Not that it was bad before in the first place. My biggest fear is a locked-in syndrome or paralysis syndrome. Oh wait, NVMD. Hey, someone else who's claustrophobic. I keep thinking I'm making it up. Do you have at least a balcony to escape to? I find if I at least have an escape route I'm good. Can't stand being in a room with only one door if that door is closed. Though, I have a forest that works fine. I made a few grand from the dip. I cleaned up my diet. Did a deep clean of my apartment. It seriously looks like a new place now. And most recently, quit drinking. I spiraled a bit at the beginning of quarantine. I entered it broke, with only $75 for food until I got unemployment 3 weeks later. Lost a lot of weight due to not eating much. When unemployment finally hit, I started drinking like crazy. 4 bottles of wine in 24 hours. Or God forbid if I got a bottle of liquor it would be gone in half a day. Couple that with eating whatever, whenever with my new generous government-supplied stipend and I was starting to feel like a fat drunk zombie. Now I have more color in my face than I've seen in years. And I've been walking 6 to 10 miles a day, though sometimes only 1, on a lazy day like today. Saved money from eating more home meals. The first month was fantastic. Without work I had so much more time to focus on grad school and I felt so much more relaxed, oddly. But then, paranoia happened. The virus got worse. And now? Shit's bad. I miss work so much and I dream of being able to go back in physically. Feels like a part of me is missing. But I've gotten back into reading and into some gaming. So I'll take it. Not really profound. But I quit smoking. I've been smoking hookah basically every day for the last 10 years. I haven't had access to tobacco shops this whole time. I went ahead and tossed my hookah in the trash. I'm fucking sticking to it and healing my body. My WoW game is right now, killing all the dragons. Made me an extrovert. Made me really think about and reevaluate some of my friendships and helped me distance myself from people who were having a toxic influence on my life. I hope to further this distance and cut them out entirely before the end of it all. Well, I didn't get sick. Mission accomplished, I guess. It made school easier, although much less useful. Made me think about getting back into the university life and I'm finally applying to that master's degree I've been postponing for so long. I've also discovered some new ways to learn things that I hope they make my CV better. Gave me time to start painting again. It had been about a year and a half since I finished any serious work. But now I've been painting every single day. Not having much else to sew has been forcing me to commit to the pieces I begin. Even when it gets frustrating. I don't think I've ever finished so many works in such a short time before. We didn't go on 2 big trips to Jamaica and Hawaii. That money is going towards our first home now. Plus we have expensive plane ticket vouchers now to go on future vacations. Missing these experiences sucked, but we get a place of our own now so it all turned out okay. We were also able to afford a 2018 truck for my husband to get rid of his 1997 truck. I've gotten more in touch with my mental health. I do have a mental illness that I struggle with, and this time to myself has let me take everything at my own pace and I'm learning to cope on my own. I'm doing quite well for the record. Even took up an old hobby again and thoroughly enjoy it. I am working from home so I was able to move to Montana and spend the next few months fly fishing. The Madison and beyond. I got extra time to get settled in my new house. I've been working out a lot more. A lot less traffic to and from work, plus gas is cheaper. I'm getting an extra half-week's drive per tank. 25 minutes to get home versus 1 hour 15 minutes. I had so much time to work on myself, slowly becoming the best version of myself. I actually have a good answer for this. I'm in college and dealing with a shitload of depression. And 2 semesters ago, I did not do very well academically. Therefore I was placed on probation last semester. But I was unfortunate enough to be placed in a class where the professor had a straight-up 1-star rating on Rate My Professor for a CS course and thus did not receive a good enough grade to be taken off probation. So this semester, I forget what they called it, but it was pretty much the last straw before I got kicked out of school. Only caveat was that I was ineligible for any kind of financial aid including loans. So just as I was about to go out to any bank I could find to give me a loan to pay this semester's tuition, COVID hits and everything shuts down. A day later, school emails me saying that they're going to extend the payment deadline indefinitely. Hooray! And the semester ended a couple weeks ago and I just got an email from school saying that my GPA's back up to normal and that I'm eligible for fin aid. Double hooray! Sometimes life throws you a bone in an unexpected way. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.